Welcome to the Making You, an accurate reflection of Christ podcast, where you become translucent glory. Now here's your host and glory teacher, Karen Pina.
Kingdom greetings. Here we are in the second part of the series on making you an accurate reflection of Christ in the area of financial ascension. Hey, how'd it go? How did sowing your $100,000 seed go? Leave me a comment. I want to hear about it. And if you haven't followed the instructions in last week's episode and decreed yet, hey, what you waiting for? And this is a part of what I want to get into today. Your wealth is waiting on you. Yes, it is. Remember the Take 8 wealth strategy? It is a YouTube video that Father gave me about a year or so ago. If you want to, and you haven't, listen to that. It's going to be a part of the resources right at the bottom of this episode. Go on out and listen to it because your wealth is waiting on you. And subscribe, all right, while you're out on YouTube. You are not waiting on your wealth, despite what you think. I know you think, Mojanama, that you are waiting to be wealthy or that you're waiting on your wealth to come to you. No, you're not. Think about where you can be if you did these two things. One, sowed $100,000 seeds on a consistent basis as he outlined in part 1. Number 2, if you took actions based on what you hear when you decree, in accordance with James 2:14 through 17, because you see, as you decree, that's when you begin to hear him say, do this, go here, connect with this person. This is how myself and others have received our $1 million revelations. This isn't just about decreeing. It's about, remember, getting in glory, kavod, bearing down on your flesh, deactivating or disenabling the involvement of your mind, your will, and your emotions, posturing you to receive his mind, his will, and how he feels about you getting into your wealthy place. This is the place where strategies are released. Where could you be if you did these two things consistently? How many times have you decreed since the last episode? Selah. I suggest that the reason why you may be hesitating, the reason why you may be despondent about where you are financially, the reason that you are whining and complaining like the children of Israel is because you do not understand God's ways. I know this is what held true for me. And see, we delay our own progress due to this lack of understanding, just like Isaiah 55:8 tells us that his ways are not our ways, and our thoughts are not his thoughts. This is where your utmost trust and obedience comes into play. And this is why I am giving you heavenly instruction to wait until kavod bears down on your flesh so that you get out of the way and obey. Hebrews 11:3 says, by faith the worlds were framed, right? And it also says that by faith we understand. Wow. Moshanama. That the worlds were framed by his words. By faith we understand. Are you catching that? Is your spirit man grasping that? It's by faith that you understand. Let's make that personal. By faith, you will understand how your world will be framed, will be created by his decrees. That's good eats right there. Powerful. Powerful. Now, for me, my stinking thinking held me in the same place for a very long time. You see, I had to learn this. I had to learn that God values his word more than money. While this may sound like a no-brainer, and while it may sound so simple, let me tell you, the emotions behind this held me captive, and they were complex because I didn't see or esteem. I hadn't yet ascended in Uzovai in my mind yet to value his word more than money. But when he taught me this, everything changed. I began to see the honor that he bestowed upon me to grace me to sow something more valuable than money. My Father. Do you see that? It's an honor. Mojana mazaba. It's an honor to sow unto God something more valuable than money. I'm telling you, my esteem of the word, Husanama of God, increased dramatically. We must learn to see our situations the way God does, because then we will understand that what we think is wreaking havoc in our lives, is causing us all this agita and anxiety, is really God calling us to ascend into a higher plateau in the spirit. You are rich without money because the word makes you rich. The very decrees that are his words make you rich. You don't have to have a pocket or bank account full of money to feel or be rich. There are people who have boatloads of money everywhere, but who have not ascended, and they are poor in spirit. And he doesn't want this to be you or I, which is why he's challenging us to what? Think wealthy first before placing wealth in your hands, in my hands, and in our bank accounts. Poverty is a mentally tangible spirit, and your mind must be completely renovated, nuzaba, to receive his wealth. HGTV is one of my favorite channels, and I like to see the renovation process. And that's what you need to visualize that's happening right now with you when you employ the word in order to ascend financially. Your mind is being renovated. Now, I want to be sure that it is clear that I am not saying to use decreeing as an excuse to not stretch yourself to sow natural seeds in the form of money. Okay? You don't get to check out and stop sowing money and just decree. No, what he's saying through me is twofold. First, sow the natural seeds by trusting him to give you seed to sow, because he will. That's what he said in his word. He gives seed to the sower. For example, I had a desire to sow a financial seed into this particular work of God. I mean, they are really doing the work of God, and that's why I desired to sow. I didn't articulate this. I didn't even pray about it. Father released a strategy to me on how to sow the seed that I desired. Let me share. My husband and I like Starbucks, and I drink Earl Grey tea, and he likes a dark roast coffee from time to time. On a regular basis, he would bring me, air quotes, tea money. Father said, Karen, for the next 6 months, I want you to take the, quote, tea money and put it aside. At the end of the year, you'll have a seed to sow. He gives seed to the sower. And sometimes he has already given you, the seed, but you are spending it on you versus investing it in his kingdom and in your financial ascension. Suvianama. As you can see, this first fold is about not placing a higher value on your ability to sow natural seeds in the form of money. Second, consistently sow the word, the king's decrees, and place more value on these supernatural seeds than on the natural ones. Thus, when you are ascending financially, you are employing the word and placing more trust in it than in your ability to sow money. At the same time, one type of seed sowing does not negate the other. Financial ascension requires both. You must do both. Another marker for you relative to financial ascension is this: money should not be able to control how you think or feel. If it does, you can't control it or dominate it. And we are, according to his word in Genesis 1:26, positioned to dominate. Let me give you an example. If you are happy when the account is full and depressed when it is not, money is controlling you. And when God sees that money controls you versus you controlling it, a delay in receiving from him is sure. Moshanama. He's not withholding money from you or wealth from you. Your lack of placing money in its proper place is what is causing the delay. I had to walk through this too. I didn't even realize that money had this level of control over me. And I never would have, quite frankly, if the delay of what he promised wasn't there. You see, if in 12 months I became that millionaire he promised, I wouldn't have grown in this area because I wouldn't have known that it even existed. Now, when the millions come into my lap, I will be doubly rich. See that? I want to leave you with this. Something that he said to me one day to help me get out of this place. And it really is something that just rolled up out of my spirit as I got tired, quite frankly, of finding myself in the lows. Remember from season 1, the highs and lows? When I found myself consistently in a low place because I didn't have those 6 figures anymore or money accessible to me like I used to, I got tired of being in this place, and I finally just said, a piece of paper with printed value on it is not gonna control my joy. It is not gonna control my peace. And it is not gonna control my love. How about you? What aspect of this series resonates most with you? Go ahead. I want you to leave a comment right there at the bottom where you can rate and review. And I'll see you right back here next week as we continue ascending in the various areas of your life so that you can become an accurate reflection of Christ. Karen Pina here, your host and glory teacher, signing out.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. To discuss and learn more about this episode, join your Glory community at www.gloryschoolcommunity.com. Finally, be sure to sign up for the RSS feed to know when the next episode is uploaded.